Welcome back, everyone, to our quick overview study guide. Matthew 27, chapter 27. Here we have the chief priests and elders. They're telling him they want to put him to death. They put him before the governor. Are you the king of the Jews? It is as you say. This right here. Are you the king of the Jews? Caiaphas, the governor, the Roman governor. It is as you say. That killed him right there. Jesus knew these words right here was going to do it. That's all that needed to happen for him to be condemned to death. And that's what he was killed for. That's what that sign is for. Okay? Jesus knew what he was doing. And this is it right here. It is as you say. Boom. Done. After this point, it's over. Now, his wife, talking about how he's a righteous man, and dreams were very powerful back then. But the chiefs and the elders were persuading the crowd to ask for Barabbas to be put to death, to put Jesus to death. Asking for Barabbas and asked to put Jesus to death. But he did it anyway. What do they say? Crucify him. His blood shall be on us and on our children. And they handed him over to be crucified. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, it's God's choice, not their choice. His blood shall be on us and on our children. That's not their decision. If God wants to do that, he'll do it. Obviously, the Jewish race hasn't had a good time in the 2,000 years of history, but so have a lot of other people. Okay? And the ones you don't hear about suffering are the ones you don't hear about. You take me, for example. I am basically invisible to the world. I don't get pulled over. People don't notice me. People tend to break into other people's houses and cars and mine. I just don't exist. You're not going to hear about people like me in the New Testament or any other testament. But you are going to hear about all the people that are getting punished. This right here, again, it's not their choice, but it certainly seems true, doesn't it? But it's not just them. It's anyone and everyone who either doesn't make the decision yes or denies him. As a religion, even the Muslims don't deny Christ. Some of them do, but really they don't. They know that Jesus is, you have to have the Jesus. They even talk about Mary quite a bit, more than the New Testament. But the Jewish race denies him. In their books, they call him a witch. And he was killed for witchcraft. Not a good thing. Jesus being mocked. The famous scarlet robe and the crown of thorns. I tell you, these crown of thorns, I've touched a couple of them. Just thorns, even out in the backyard. Man, they hurt. I can't imagine what it would be like to be opened up like that after a beating. Very uncomfortable. No wonder why he died so quick. People say, oh, why did he die so quick? Well, because he beat the hell out of him. I'm actually quite shocked that he didn't die before he got to the cross. I guarantee you, if I took someone and did the exact same thing to him, after that beating, after they're scourged, according to the accounts that we have from history, they would not be moving after that at all. But here it says he was able, with some assistance from Simon of Cyrene, to help them bear his cross. There is a part, it's not in Matthew, but I really like it because Jesus even says, bless are the the breast that gave you suck, and Jesus said, you know, don't weep for me, weep for yourselves. Weep for yourselves, because as a result of this and what's coming, it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. I think that's in Luke. Ooh. I mean, when you read this, you really silence yourself and read this. If this is bad, I mean, some bad things are going to happen. I couldn't imagine the horrors. And it was like this war was going on when the Romans came in for like 5 months. 5 months of starvation and death, beatings, only to be ran through when they finally do enter the city. And then if you were lucky enough to not die, you were taken slave. God knows what happened to you after that. Obviously, some of them lived, I guess. They say they did. Well, we never really know for sure. But we have the crucifixion. There's a part where they said, oh, he drank wine mixed with gall. You know, Jesus said he'll drink it new in the kingdom of heaven. I think Jesus is, I do think he's referring to, you know, the afterlife. But here is the famous sign. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. It was true. The other two mocked him. Later on, they would have their legs beaten, legs broken, and then they basically suffocated because it was the Sabbath. Here, Matthew gives an account. It's in Aramaic, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. And then they give you a translation into Greek, but then into English, my God, why have you forsaken me? A lot of debate swirl around about this one. It's just too vast to explain here. Don't worry about it. Why have you forsaken me? Could have just been an outcrying. More than likely, it was symbolic. So we can get into that in some other video. But here, again, just listen to what's being said. Now, Temple veil was torn in two from the top to the bottom. Now you have to understand this is the internal veil, apparently. The Holy of Holies. So you wouldn't be able to see it exteriorly if you're outside, but it ripped and split in two, okay? Which means everyone has access to God now. That is a type of proof, and what's about ready to follow for this judgment to have happen after this event. Okay? It's done. His death started it right at this moment, because you can see right here. The earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they entered the holy city and appeared to many. Okay? It's happening now. Bodies, judgment. Okay? This is the moment right after his death. Here it is. There are some people that are taken up to heaven right away. You know, the first fruits. Jesus is the very first fruits. But in Revelation it says, blessed and holy are the ones that are part of the first fruits. Okay? This is it right here. This is it happening. So they may have been up there, and then they call it the 1,000 years. This could probably be the 1,000 years. I don't know why they use the term 1,000 years, but they do. 1,000 years seems a lot longer than 40 years, but whatever. Here, they're coming out. So it's happening. Here it is right here. Earlier we had the judgment. This is the beginning of that process of the judgment. The judgment will probably happen 40 years later, when it's all said and done, when the covenant is officially ended with the temple's destruction. Okay? This is very important to just memorize. Now, I know I'm running long, but I really want to explain this. Again, with the Gentiles, the non-Jews, They see these things, and they're able to express faith like Jesus has never heard before. And it's just like us with our religion. We have, I believe this and I believe that, and I'm a Catholic, and we can't see clearly because we've already made up our minds as to what things mean and what things say. And if someone says something different, oh, that's not it. Pastor Bob didn't say that. Pastor Bob said something else. Here we have a Gentile. No religious training except with probably polytheistic type religions, the gods, the summer god, the winter god, the Kentucky Fried Chicken god. But here, a Gentile, truly this was the Son of God. Again, a Gentile proclaiming this was the Son of God. A statement not made by anyone else, and it's made by a Gentile because they can see clearly. They don't have all this nonsense standing in front of them and blinding them to it, where the Jews did. Drink my blood and eat my flesh. They all left. Peter said, where else are we going to go? When asked, are you going to leave too? Where else are we going to go? Because you're it. We can see that. That's not our training, but we can see it. And a lot of other Jews could too. But the mass majority of them, the Pharisees, the Sanhedrin, they didn't. But just a nobody in relation to this whole entire story. Truly, he was the Son of God. He could tell. The Marys are hanging around. Joseph Arimathea came and got the body. And someone says they remember after 3 days, I am to rise again.